Tonight's dinner is going to be a Asian style crispy skinned pork belly. And I do say tonight because it is around about 10 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to marinate this for pretty much the whole day in the fridge. And I need to get it sorted. So what do we need? You can use the Chinese cooking wine, or you can use sherry depending on what you like. The light soy sauce, Hoisin sauce, garlic, ginger. I'm using some chili because we like a bit of chili, 5 spice, and sugar. Now the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to score my pork rind, and I'm just going to do scores like that, but I'm not going to use a knife. I'm going to use a secret weapon, and it's a blade, because this will be a lot easier to slice through than a knife, because a knife can become this is very tough. Okay, so I'll do that now. Okay, I'm going to use the blade. I'm just going to score this through. Now you may need to do it a few times because you don't want to be putting too much pressure, but as you can see, it's starting to go in. And I'm going to start doing that all the way along because I want to have a nice scored top. And I'm going to crisscross this as I go along. So I'll show you when it's finished. So as you can see there, a few minutes later, didn't take me long at all. I've crisscrossed this nice and it's gone into the fat. So then that way when this cooks, it'll open up and it'll become really nice and crispy. Now all I'm going to do is mix all of my ingredients together into a bowl and then put that onto the pork. But I'm not going to put it onto the skin. You'll see what I'm going to do with the skin. Okay, I've mixed all my ingredients together. I'm now going to pour that into the container where I'm going to be putting my pork. Because all we're going to do is sit the pork in this for the next 5-6 hours. Leave it uncovered in the fridge because, like I said, moisture is your enemy when it comes to pork crackling. So put this all the way around on the meat, but I don't want this on my crackling. Okay, and then what we'll do, so we can do that, and I'll come back to it in a second. Okay, now that I've put all around and sitting my pork in that, I just give it a wipe with just a paper towel, because like I said, we want to get rid of any excess moisture, because the drier this is, the better it will come up. And now I'm just going to use normal salt. I'm going to put some salt onto this, because what this will do, the salt will help to draw out the moisture during the day, because otherwise, if you've got moisture on your fat, it just won't crispen up. I'm just going to put that in the fridge now for the next 5 or 6 hours until it becomes ready to cook. Don't cover it. You've got to keep it uncovered in the fridge. The longer the better, because that way it just dries it all out. You can see a couple of hours later, the moisture that's been coming up from the salt that's gone on there. So I'm just drying this off because I want this to get as dry as possible over the next couple of hours, so then that way we can cook it and get it nice and crispy. So yeah, the moisture is just coming up out of it. That's what we're trying to do, trying to dry this out as much as possible. Okay, 8 hours later, or pretty much 7.5 hours later, I'm now going to put this onto a tray and into my oven at 180 degrees for about 45 minutes as step 1. Now that's the leftover juice. I'm simply going to pop that into a saucepan, and I'm going to add half a cup of hot water. I'm going to boil that down for about 10 minutes and use that as a dipping sauce. Okay, 45 minutes later, as you can see, that's almost pretty well cooked. So what I'm going to do now for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to put it back in the oven, and I'm going to put it at about 180 degrees in my grill, 200 degrees for about 6 minutes to crispen that up. Because I just want the heat from the top now. So it should crispen it right up.